I love Call of Duty multiplayer, or at least I used to. I don't feel quite so fondly for it nowadays. And judging on the reaction for Battlefield 6, that seems to be a pretty common opinion. People are acting like Battlefield 6 is going to destroy Call of Duty. The Black Ops 7 trailer has been downvoted so hard, it reminds me of Infinite Warfare. Hey, Jarek here. I'm a dragon on the internet. And why? Why do so many people hate Call of Duty nowadays? What happened? Well, let's start with why people used to like Call of Duty. Let's go to that golden era of COD. Now, obviously Call of Duty existed before Call of Duty 4, but Call of Duty 4 is the game that made Call of Duty explode. Let's be real. While a lot of people like Call of Duty single player, that's not really why Call of Duty has been so successful. It's the multiplayer. It may be easy to forget, but there was no experience like Modern Warfare back in the day. It was fresh, revolutionary, refreshing. So fresh I had to say the same word twice. Most multiplayer games still had their roots in arena shooters. FPS games in the 90s were dominated by PC-centric titles like Quake. And even when we moved on from those sorts of games, the next most popular multiplayer game on console was Halo, a game that very clearly has its roots in arena shooters. Everyone spawns with the same weapons, you fight for control over the map, and try to take over the power weapons. Now, obviously Halo is quite a bit different than Quake. It doesn't quite have the movement, it has shields, you can only carry 2 weapons, but it's still a subgenre of arena shooters, even if it feels wildly different. In fact, I think Halo's only so revolutionary because it got first-person shooters working so well on consoles. Please don't hate me, I'm saying this as someone that loves Halo and played every single Halo game. I also was a PC gamer, that's just kind of how I look at it. Then in comes Modern Warfare. See, like I said, Call of Duty existed before, but if your game wasn't an arena shooter, high chance it was a World War II shooter. That's not inherently a bad thing, but people were really burnt out on World War II shooters. It felt like we had already played the same game 20 times over. So when Call of Duty showed that they were going to modern day, people were automatically excited about this. What they couldn't have predicted was Call of Duty's loadout system, which changed everything. Suddenly you can spawn with any weapon you want to. Suddenly you have perks that wildly change the game. Some of these changes were definitely not fun to fight against, like Last Stand or Juggernaut, but you had the option, they were there. And now you also have kill streaks. Again, this was all fresh and brand new. On top of all of this, it was simplistic. It was easy to understand. And these additions also made it so that you weren't ever truly outclassed in a game. Call of Duty has always been casual, since its inception. This game is made to have the skill gap be close, so that everyone can play and have fun. It was also designed to give the illusion of a quote-unquote realistic game. With fast time to kill and limited movement, unlike the arena shooters of yesteryear, predicting your opponent's approaches and holding off choke points was the most valid way to win games. Old Call of Duty is the definition of addition by subtraction, if the timeline was flipped and they came out last. You know what I mean. Simple games, easy to understand, incredibly addictive. Yeah, I've already used this gun before, but I have not unlocked that new attachment yet. I gotta grind this out a little bit more, and I'm having fun playing on this map. I just can't stop playing today until I put a stupid, ridiculous ACOG on my tiny little Scorpion. Modern Call of Duty has a wildly different feel, and more importantly to a lot of people, a wildly different look. Starting with Call of Duty 4, virtually all of these maps take place either in the Middle East or Russia, and all of the player character models look like they fit that location. All of your guns look like they fit in these locations. Real world weapons that you would see there. The most out of place one is probably an STG. It's not impossible to see an STG in a place like that, just highly unlikely. But the wildest we're getting in Call of Duty 4 is an STG, then yeah, that's a sign of how far away we've gone. The same thing could be said about Modern Warfare 2 and 3. They still fit their locations, there's a coherent visual identity. Meanwhile, Black Ops 1 took place during the Vietnam War and Cold War. Really interesting setting, may I add. I've always been down with this one. And then comes Black Ops 2, a game set up in the modern near future of 2025. Yep, it's supposed to take place today. It's always amusing to see how much devs get wrong when they try to do things in the near future. It's also equally amusing to see how much they get right. I remember a lot of people back in the day didn't necessarily like how Black Ops 2 looked at first, because it seemed so wacky. We're going futuristic with Call of Duty. Man, that's funny to look back at nowadays. But it still had a coherent visual identity, even if different. You had drones and robots and whatnot, but the guns still looked like regular guns. even if mocked up to look kind of futuristic. Like, this is clearly still an XM8. Probably not the best example because it already kind of looks sci-fi to begin with, but you know what I mean. Fast forward to Call of Duty nowadays, and instead we got fucking Beavis and Butthead and American Dad. What is going on? Okay, so I'm more lenient about this kind of stuff. Obviously, I'm pretending to be a dragon on the internet. There's a lot of skins that I actually do like that kind of get a bit wacky. Say the Raptor skin from Modern Warfare 3, I would 100% use this. This looks badass. Or just taking people down with leopards. That's cool. But even I have found my limit. I don't want to see Beavis and Butthead running around in my war shooter. And again, to clarify, that takes a lot for me because in my mind, I don't care about immersion in multiplayer. I'm just trying to top the scoreboard. I'm just trying to try out this new gun. I'm just playing with my friends. I'm just having a fun time. And again, even I think that this is too far. But I actually don't even think that's the biggest issue. Like, yeah, it's ugly as shit and there's no reason for this stuff to be here. But the bigger problem is that people are just hyper aware that you exist to give them money. This is a product. This is not a video game. They don't care how good or bad this video game is. You're still giving them money, and that's all they care about. And every time you see fucking Beavis and Butthead, that's just a reminder of that. They think they're untouchable, and they might be. Call of Duty may never die. It's been one of the biggest franchises forever, but they know that, and they can just do whatever they want and get away with it. It says a hell of a lot that people are incredibly disappointed that one of the biggest announcements with Black Ops 7 is that all of your cosmetics are carrying over from the previous game. People would be happier losing their money that they spent if it meant not looking at these stupid skins. Okay, so as I'm sitting here editing, Activision just rolled this back, and Carry Forward will no longer be in Black Ops 7. Here's their explanation for removing it. Black Ops 7 needs to feel authentic to Call of Duty and its setting. That is why Black Ops 6 operator and weapon content will no longer carry forward to Black Ops 7. Your feedback matters. In Black Ops 7, bundles and items will be crafted to fit the Black Ops identity. We hear the feedback. We need to deliver a better balance toward the immersive, core Call of Duty experience. This is absolutely just a PR move due to the combination of Battlefield 6's beta doing so well and Black Ops 7's trailer doing awful. If you believe for a second they're not going back on this a few months after the game comes out, then you haven't learned from the past. They said effectively the same exact thing about Black Ops 6. And I quote, "We want to make sure everybody starts fresh, together, as we move into an all-new experience with the launch of Call of Duty Black Ops 6, allowing everyone to experience the Black Ops universe the way it was meant to be played, learning the era-specific weapons and gear, learning the gameplay innovations like Omni Movement, and keeping the signature Black Ops style is important."
Bullshit! Bullshit! Is that all I'm ever gonna get from you guys? Bullshit?
Again, this is a PR move. We're going to be seeing a bunch of silly, stupid skins 3, 4, 5 months after launch. It's going to be the same story all over again. And that's not even approaching how any of these guns look. So, yeah, this has gone insane. Call of Duty is not Fortnite. Fortnite at least had a visual identity that kind of fit for that nonsense. Call of Duty doesn't. The reason I don't mind the Raptor skin is that, while yes, it is obviously not fitting to have a Raptor in a modern war, it also at least visually looks like the same art style, not this thing. So yeah, game's pretty damn ugly now because they want as much money as they can get and they're gonna keep doing it because money. But now let me move on to the things that actually kill Call of Duty for me, the reasons I stopped playing, the reasons I hate modern Call of Duty. Movement is one of the biggest things. Let me be Old Man Yells at Cloud. Not every fucking game needs slide canceling and as fast movement as possible. To be clear, I'm not against movement shooters as a whole. The problem is, this movement just does not belong in Call of Duty. Call of Duty was never made for this. I will defend Titanfall till the end of my days. I don't know if anyone's even gonna attack it because most people agree that it's an insanely good multiplayer game. However, Titanfall has larger maps, and it has Titans to counter your movement. Quake has lots of movement, but it has weapon pickups to fight over rather than small rooms. Tribes has long time to kill for full auto weapons and huge spaces to ski everywhere. These were designed to be good games with movement as a priority. Movement in Call of Duty was an accident. Now for a while it actually wasn't an accident, but I also bounced off of it at that time as well. During the jetpack era, I fell out of Call of Duty hard. I didn't enjoy this at all. It wasn't the Call of Duty I expected nor wanted. I didn't like jetpacks, I didn't like wall running, and I especially didn't like specialists. But it seems most people agreed with that because the sentiment was pretty negative about this era in general, especially specialists, which they axed altogether. Until Black Ops 7, where they're coming back. Why? No one's asking for this. Nobody wants this. You removed it because nobody liked it. What the futuristic Call of Duty era led to was Modern Warfare 2019. Which, allow me to defend, by the way, I see a lot of revisionism about people talking about how bad Modern Warfare 2019 is, but it brought Modern Warfare back. It brought Call of Duty back. This was the boots on the ground experience that people wanted from Call of Duty that advanced Call of Duty did not give them. Modern Warfare was huge, a massive success. People loved it on launch, no matter how much people try to tell you they didn't now. It's also when I came back to Call of Duty. I stopped buying all the advanced movement CODs because I didn't like them. My mindset was if I wanted to play that, I would go play a better game with Titanfall. So now suddenly we have another Modern Warfare game that has limited movement and fast time to kill. Exactly what I want. Until Warzone came out and people started realizing you could slide cancel everywhere. Thus came Call of Duty's movement being an accident. Everyone also complained about the maps in Modern Warfare, which I think is a little overblown. Yeah, there was definitely some bad maps in that game, but there's also some good ones too. Hackney Yard could be remade in any Call of Duty game, and it would be a great map. But Modern Warfare 2019 was a flash in the pan, the last time I really truly enjoyed a Call of Duty game. Ever since then, movement has been getting faster, and maps have been getting smaller. This is counterintuitive. When movement got faster in Halo, the maps had to get bigger to compensate to keep the same feel. Call of Duty doesn't want this. They don't want you to have any time to think for yourself. They want every game to be TikTokified. You must be shooting at everything immediately the moment you spawn. And I fucking hate this. We've also fallen back in line with having more movement. Omnidirectional movement is the worst option they could have chosen. I hate this. The moment slide canceling was discovered, it should have been nuked, and they should have doubled down on sliding being a defensive mechanic instead of whatever the hell we have now. The most frustrating thing about this is that Call of Duty players are convinced every game needs to be Call of Duty and they want this shit in every game possible. No, this doesn't belong in Battlefield, and I'm so glad DICE is doubling down and saying, stop it, but thank you for beta testing for our game so we know what to get rid of. It is genuinely annoying that Call of Duty players seem to think that they're the majority when it comes to other games. No, everyone just looks at Call of Duty players like they're really fucking dumb, because most of the time they are. It's also amusing to me to look at how much I really dislike Treyarch Call of Duty games nowadays, because I much preferred Black Ops 1 and 2 over the original Modern Warfare games. But ever since Black Ops 3 and on, Treyarch games have had more movement, slower time to kill, and random gimmicks like specialists. I don't want any of this. I want the simplistic Call of Duty we used to have. I extra hate long time to kill. I feel like this does not at all fit in Call of Duty, because it's not even true long time to kill. It's not like it's Halo long time to kill. So it just results in weird balancing things where it feels like everyone dies in 1-2 more bullets than they should, and snipers being overpowered as hell for no reason, because how do you balance them in now that other guns are weak? It just makes the gunplay feel like shit. Again, this game wasn't made for long time to kill. Trying to shoehorn it into being an entirely different experience does not work. And now we get to things that I'm just so tired of complaining about these things specifically. Crossplay is great for most games, but for multiplayer, I feel like it's almost done more harm than good. There is no logical way to balance in mouse and keyboard with controllers. But the way modern developers have chosen to try to balance this in is just to give Control aimbot level aim assist, and it is insane that people defend this. Now, to be fair, if controllers don't have aim assist, then mouse and keyboard is going to stomp them. It's much easier to click on heads that way. But when you're giving players more movement and longer time to kill, suddenly tracking your opponent is by far the most important skill to your aim. And when your aim is almost literal aimbot, the controller has a massive advantage. To any controller user that is going to try to argue against me, I want you to go to Steam, download Aim Labs, and try to track what you're shooting at. Yeah, it's not easy. This is by far the hardest part of aiming, and your controller does it for you. There's a reason why when it comes to esports, vast majority of pro users use controller. The one odd exception to this is Counter-Strike, since it's such a PC-centric game and the skills required in Counter-Strike favor a mouse. Precision headshot shooting is always going to be easier with a mouse. Let me tell you, playing a PC game where there is no controller support is a wildly different experience than playing a game with crossplay and dealing with controller users with aim assist. I know this is the case with Call of Duty because I used to play a lot of Iron Sight before it closed down. This has time to kill and movement very similar to Black Ops 2, and every gunfight lasted longer because people weren't laser beaming you. As it turns out, when you were forced to actually be able to aim, you were going to miss sometimes. A lot of the time, actually. And all it takes is them missing that one bullet to change an entire gunfight. Alright, let me move on to the last topic that I'm just so tired of even talking about. This plagues almost every PvP game in modern day. That's skill-based matchmaking. Yeah, I know, we're gonna get the stupid arguments of, oh, you just want a pub stomp, but no, that's not even my biggest complaint. If I was just playing on my own, I would have less to complain about, although it would make the experience just be ranked all the time, which is not relaxing, and everyone went to play Call of Duty for casual gameplay anyway. I mean, Call of Duty already has built-in mechanics to lower the skill gap. It already has perks that do that for you. The glory of shooters is that even if you don't win the game as a whole, every gunfight you win still feels like you won something. You could go negative at the end of the game, but you had one good kill streak in there, so it still feels nice. It always feels like you have some chance, even if the opponent is way better than you. Unless you're in a party with your friends, and I happen to have played a lot more Call of Duty, and my friends are very casual, so they're nowhere near as good as I am, so they get dragged up to me and have a miserable time. I don't want to have to carry my entire team and try extra hard, and I don't want my friends to get stomped and go 2-19. I miss the days where we just had server browsers and everything wasn't let's matchmake for a single game based on your skill and then disband the party afterward. I miss map voting. I miss being able to see people talking trash to each other after the game because it was very funny. Just the old experience we had of PvP is totally gone. And the new experience is only ranked, which isn't fun. In summary, I don't like modern Call of Duty because I don't like the smaller maps. I don't like the increased movement. I don't like aim assist being able to laser beam me. I hate skill-based matchmaking. And it looks butt-fuck ugly with no visual identity. The games I used to love, the games I put thousands upon thousands of hours into, are dead. Modern Call of Duty feels absolutely nothing like Black Ops 1 and 2. It feels nothing like Call of Duty 4 or the original Modern Warfare 2 or the original Modern Warfare 3. Battlefield 6 is a reminder that there's still a huge market for slower-paced first-person shooters. There's a big gap between games like Arma and games where Call of Duty is now. A game that's still an arcade shooter, but the skill set required prioritizes predicting your opponent and holding down angles. That's the skill set I want to be required to play Call of Duty. Not slide canceling every fucking corner. I want to be able to breathe when I spawn and see where I need to go on the map to put myself in a better position to win. If the entire skill set I needed was to outmove and outshoot my opponent, I'd be playing Quake a lot more. That's what I'd want. And the fact that Call of Duty players refuse to play games like Quake is crazy to me. It's almost like they don't actually want to be good with this skill set. They just want to spam this option that not everyone can spam. And it's incredibly annoying that anytime you bring up movement, you are going to be met with the tons of people just yelling, "Get good! Motherfucker, your controller aims for you, sit down." So, yeah, me, like so many other people, have no interest in Black Ops 7. I don't have any interest in buying Black Ops 7. But like many other people, I'll probably be getting Battlefield 6. We'll see how that goes on launch. EA doesn't exactly have my faith either, but what they're showing is definitely better than what we've seen with Black Ops 7. The Call of Duty vs. Battlefield thing is never gonna die. Hey, huge thanks to my YouTube members. These guys get to see all of my content early. I keep it pretty cheap, so if you want to see my stuff early, consider joining. Big help to them. They help pay some of my bills. Seriously, I cannot give them enough thanks. I say it every video. I don't know how to say thank you more, but it really does mean a lot to me. If you want to see my other stuff, then here's a playlist of videos just like this one. Here's a recommended video over there. And click here if you want to subscribe to see my videos. I post every single Friday at 7 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. Be sure to come back if YouTube doesn't alert you, because YouTube is YouTube and loves to do that. But I will see you next video.